This video will show you how to take apart or disassemble the Maytag Atlantis and Neptune style dryers. Safety first, so always disconnect power before servicing any electrical appliance. And remember, when taking these machines apart, the internal edges are very sharp. They can cut you and cause serious injury, so be careful not to get cut when opening up and working on these machines.
Hello everybody, I've got a Maytag Atlantis dryer here, and I haven't had an Atlantis or a Neptune to demonstrate a lot of things, how to fix them, how to do testing on them, or even how to take them apart and open them up to get in it, where you can do those testing things and repairs. So for this video, this will show you how to disassemble the Maytag Neptune and Maytag Atlantis style dryers. So okay, on this style dryer, the first thing you're going to do in order to take it apart, you want to open the top panel, but you can't do that until you open the door. And then there's 4 screws that hold this front panel on. It has to come off first. One here, and then the 2 screws in that side panel of the front that hold the door on. So the door has to come off as well. You use a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to take these 2 off first on the sides, just on the inside there. They have this plastic piece with them. Just take the plastic off with it, with the screw, and then set them aside. Do the bottom one. Okay, pretty simple. Change my position here. Hopefully you can see on the inside of the door here, there's 2 more, and then the hinge for the door is slotted into 2 slots at the top and bottom, and it just holds the door on. So let me go ahead and take the single screw that attaches the hinge to the front panel. That's the top one. We'll do the bottom one. And because those hinges are slotted in, the door is not going to, shouldn't come off until you're ready to pull it off. Got that other screw out, okay? Now, take the door, and then you're going to push towards the dryer just a little bit to release the tension off of the hinges, and then up, and then pull it out. And that's how it comes off. These little hooks here have a little slot there it was sitting on of the hinge. So they came right out of these little side holes here. Okay, and take the door panel, just set it aside, out of the way. And of course, don't lose track of those screws. And once those 4 screws are removed and the door panel's out of the way, the next thing we want to do is we want to pop this front face panel loose. It pops loose at the top on both sides here, and then leans forward and then pulls off the hinges at the bottom. So gently use a little screwdriver there to pop it loose. Let it lean forward. Down at the bottom you'll see there's 2 slots that are on 2 hinges. Just lift it up and off. This is a good time to remind you, when you're working on these machines, everything that's on the internal edges here, once you start taking it apart, they're all very sharp edges, so be careful not to get cut or to slice yourself or hurt yourself while working on it. Of course, the very first step when working on any of these dryers is always to unplug the dryer. This is already unplugged, but in case you didn't do that already, make sure it's unplugged so when you start messing with anything inside here, we don't get hurt. Okay, I changed the position of the camera there to go lower so you can see the hinge here and the one on the other side there. That front panel just lifted up and off of. Okay, so now it's out of the way. Okay, hopefully this angle is good and clear enough and close enough of a shot up of what I'm doing here. There's screws that hold this bulkhead panel and the bracket right here that holds the top down. So we've got to remove this first one at the top on both sides, this screw that holds the bracket in place, and get it off so that the top can actually open up. We're actually going to wind up removing all of these screws to further disassemble the machine, but 5/16 here is, yep, 5/16. So first things first, remove the screw that's holding the bracket on both sides. Once the screw comes out, you can take the bracket and pull the bottom towards you and then turn the top until it unhooks. That hook was hooked onto this top panel. So turn it so that it releases the hook. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this screw and the bracket, I'm going to set them aside. Now when I start taking all these apart, I like to keep these in order. So when I take these other screws off, I'm going to save them in the same order, setting aside. So when it's time to put everything back together, everything goes back in the same place that it was. There's one screw here, which I believe is this one, that's shorter than the rest on each side. And on this one, it's going to be this one down here. So anyways, if you just keep them in the same order, that way you don't have to worry about which screw goes where. So we switch sides here. Okay, remove this one. Again, it was hooked to the bottom side of this top panel, and this little slot right here was on this bracket, and it was held down by the screw. So I'm going to take it, keep the screw with it, and I'll set it aside. And as I said, once you've got those two off, you can now lift the top panel, and it has brackets here at the top. It'll be at the top. The bracket will support, and you don't want to bend it any further than that because these are plastic and they will break. So lean it right to there and then let it sit. If you can, put this up against the wall so this is supported against the wall so that the whole top deck is not hanging there loose. You don't want to have it fall on you, of course. So the best thing to do while you're working on the rest of the machine is to have this lean against the wall or something, and then make sure it's not going to actually fall on you when you're shaking and taking things apart on the machine. The next step, before I take this top or this actual front bulkhead off, the belt is still on, holding the drum on, and I want to go ahead and get the drum loose, the belt loose from the drum right now. You can't see on the inside of this machine what I'm about to do. And let's see. The motor pulley is directly behind where the blower box is here. I'm going to reach in there, grab the pulley, release the tension off of it so I can pull the belt off. And once I get the drum and everything out of the way, I'll give you a better close-up view of what I'm doing. You have to pretty much do this blind because you can't take it all the way apart with, you know, everything still on here. Okay, from here you can better see our angle of what's happening with the motor pulley and the tensioner when installing or removing the belt. The tensioner, to release tension, you need to push it or pull it towards the pulley of the motor like that. That releases the tension. To release the belt or remove it, you pull that tensioner further towards the motor to take the tension off of the drum and the belt, and then slip the belt off of the pulley and it'll come right off. But that's how it gets threaded through there, how it comes on and off. You can't see it with the drum and everything put together, so I wanted to show you like this how that belt works on that tensioner. Okay. When doing that, make sure you don't cut yourself on the edge right here. All I did was pull the tensioner to release the pressure off the belt and then release the belt from the pulley. So it's loose now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this front bulkhead off. The rest of these screws are also 5/16. There's 3 more on each side. And again, as I take each one off, I'm saving them in the same order off to the side so I'll know which one goes where. Okay. Other side off. Alright, once that last screw comes off the bulkhead, I'm kind of holding it here with my hand. Make sure it doesn't fall. But gently hold the drum away from it. Just pick it up. And I'm turning on an axis here of where the wires are at the bottom. So I'm not going to take the wires off the switch because I don't need to right now. Leave the wires attached. And just set it on the side. Last step that I'm going to show on disassembly. Pick up the belt since we've already got it loose. Use it to assist. Pulling the drum forward. When the belt hangs up, just let it fall loose. It doesn't matter. So the drum is off. The belt is off. I'm going to set that aside. Okay.